Greetings, St. Paul's. Blessings on this Tuesday, March 9th. I come to you from Lake Merritt today on this feast of Gregory of Nyssa. There are several portions of Psalm alternatives for his feast. I am choosing the one from Psalm 119, beginning at verse 97. Oh, how I love your law. All the day long it is in my mind. Your commandment has made me wiser than my enemies, and it is always with me. Gregory is a very interesting character in the history of the church. He's one of those that exemplifies the fact that you don't have to start out a life in sainthood to be considered a saint by the church over time. It is said that Gregory was a non-believer at the beginning of his life and into his teens. That his brother Basil the Great, well known in the church, was always worried about him, and at a certain point, Basil was the one who encouraged him to accept the appointment as Bishop of Nyssa. Gregory was not happy about it, and it is said that it was one of the saddest or most unhappy days of his life when he was ordained and consecrated as bishop. His life was transformed by his brother's death, and coupled with that, his sister's death. His sister is also in the calendar of saints of the church. Her name is Macrina. And all we know about Macrina was through Gregory's writings. So he became more devout in his life with Christ through both his siblings and conversations with them and seeing them going through the process from life to death. I guess his story is one of those very interesting ones that should be a source of inspiration to all of us. It is not about how we begin life. I think that it is indeed how we live and end life that is most meaningful. It doesn't matter at what stage of life you come to believe. The matter is that you do. And that when you do believe, you allow God to be your guide and stay, to be the one that defines the different stages of your life. So, my friends, regardless of where you are in your process of understanding God's role in your life, I pray that at some point between now and the hour of our deaths, each of us is able to say that we have fully committed ourselves to God and are allowing God to be the one that establishes the course of our lives from this moment on until God decides that it is time for it to come to an end. It was one of those things of the first century that Gregory is known as one of the three Cappadocian fathers. He was at the Council of Constantinople. He's known as one of the great defenders of the faith of Nyssa. All of these things, despite the fact that he didn't really come into the fullness of his faith until he was about 40 years old. So my friends, continue forward. Stay steadfast and be faithful, because God knows the time and the place where your commitment to the gospel will be needed for the edification of the church and for the strengthening of the future of our faith. Stay blessed, and may you always know that God's Spirit lives within you and that God's grace surrounds you. Blessings on this day.